So why Docker first in the CI/CD journey? So before CI and CD, which is continuous integration and continuous deployment tools, make sense, one fundamental problem must be solved, which is environment inconsistency. So if you talk about the traditional setups, dev environment runs on a local machine, QA runs on a shared virtual machine, UAT runs on a different OS, and production runs on hardened servers. So even if CI/CD pipelines exist, deployments still fail because there may be several reasons, like different Java versions, different operating system libraries, different middleware configurations, and the most infamous works on my machine syndrome, right? Deployments still fail because of all these reasons. So Docker solves this before CI/CD even starts. How Docker introduces immutable runtime environments, portable applications, plus middleware packaging, predictable startup, scaling, and rollback behavior. So these all things are introduced by Docker even before the CI/CD starts. So the correct learning curve or the correct learning order is first Docker, then CI, continuous integration, then continuous deployment, later on Kubernetes or OpenShift. So without Docker, CI/CD becomes a fragile automation layer on top of unstable systems. So what is the significance of Docker? Why is it foundational? Docker solves real enterprise problems. Docker answers these four enterprise questions, like how do I package middleware plus application together? And how do I deploy the same artifact across multiple or various environments, right? And how do I roll back instantly if something goes wrong? And how do I scale horizontally without reinstallation? And how do I standardize runtime for hundreds of applications? So Docker does not replace middleware. It standardizes how middleware runs in modern environments, CI/CD pipelines, and automation. So why Docker is critical for middleware administrators? No more installing WebLogic, WebSphere, or JBoss or Tomcat manually on each server. Middleware becomes a versioned image so that you can reuse the same image across multiple platforms and maintain consistency. No more works on my machine syndrome, right? So configuration becomes code here, like you will be using the Docker file to build the images. You will use environment variables. You will use volumes, persistent volumes, right? So also faster DR, which is disaster recovery, faster scaling up, and faster recovery of all the data and information.